super secret was...
Hey everybody, I thought I'd just start up a video. Close the purple boys now. So let me show you over here. This is actually the script that's running and regenning the tree. So what it does is it pulls everything from kit-fixups and regenerates each kit and adds in any new e-builds. So it's running now. Just thought you might like to see that. I'll leave it running over here. So what is new? Well, we've started work on 1.4, Funtoo 1.4. And in Funtoo 1.4, probably the main, well, several things are going to be in it, but one of the main things will be happening in core GL kit, and that's going to be basically redoing all of our graphics stack. So in the past, we've used eselect OpenGL to basically pick your OpenGL implementation, and it's varied by vendor. So like for NVIDIA, you do eselect OpenGL, select NVIDIA, and then it's going to set up your libgl, your OpenGL library. What is my dog doing? To in user lib to point to the NVIDIA version of it. But there is a new sort of sheriff in town when it comes to GL, and I have it running over here. So this libgl that I have on this system, and this is an NVIDIA system, it actually comes from libglvnd. And what that does is it's sort of like a broker for, this is what it stands for. It is the GL vendor neutral dispatch library. So what this does is it basically grabs all the GL calls, and it has sort of a plugin system, and it will route the call to the correct underlying GL implementation. So you don't need eselect OpenGL anymore, with one exception. You will need it if you have a legacy video driver, like probably a really old NVIDIA driver, maybe a few other corner cases, but for the most part, modern cards are going to work with libglvnd. VND. And what that means is that you're going to just basically stop using eselect OpenGL entirely. So that is sort of going to go away. What's probably going to end up happening is that, so let's say you run eselect OpenGL, you're going to see one option there. It's going to say libglvnd VND, and you can't change it. And then if you have a legacy card, then you can switch back to the legacy method of using it. But that's how it's going to be. And what else is new? I did my first BMW modification. I will do a video of that soon. It made a nice improvement. I also wanted to thank everybody out there who's been making contributions on code.funtoo.org. That has been really helpful. And then let me just I want to give you a rundown of what I've been doing to get ready for 1.4. So I'm going to go over to kit-fixups here. And what I've done is, we used to have in kit-fixups, we have, if we go into core kit, we have these directories, right? And so kit-fixups is sort of like a meta overlay. We have all these different overlays. So we have like a core kit directory, and then we have a 1.3 release directory. And if you go in the 1.3 release directory, in there, that's like an overlay. So it's 2 directories deep. You have an overlay. And we have some special directory names, curated and global. We're getting away from using global and switching to the curated name, but they're basically the same thing. And what we want to put in curated are just e-builds that we're maintaining over multiple releases that we want to sort of keep maintaining from release to release. We're going to keep them up to date. So they could be Funtoo specific e-builds or sort of hard forks of e-builds where we've really done some serious changes. We didn't just fork them to fix a little thing for the particular release, but we sort of overhauled them and we're going to keep overhauling them. That would go in curated. And then we have our 1.3 release directory. So this is like another 2-layer deep overlay. And when I'm regenning a tree, like over here, I'm regenning the 1.3 kits. What'll happen is any package in 1.3 release has priority over the one in curated. So just keep that in mind. I know somebody submitted a pull request and they added something to like a curated directory, I think. How was it? I think they added it to a curated directory, but there was an older version still in 1.3 release that overwrote it. I think it was for Go. So we didn't see the changes. I had to go into the 1.3 release directory, I think of LangKit, remove the old Go from 1.3 release, and then it exposed the one that was in the curated directory. So just keep that in mind for your pull requests. So what I've been doing in here is first I cleared out a lot of the global stuff. I moved it to curated. I also removed a lot of like the 1.0 prime directories. I had some 1.1 prime directories inside the kits. We're not generating those anymore. We don't need them in kit-fixups. We don't need 1.2 prime either. We're not generating those anymore. So I removed all of those. Gee, I need to remember to breathe when I'm on this mic. I like forget to breathe. I just keep talking. I guess that will come with practice. I don't do that on the phone. I don't know why it's different on when I'm on a mic. It's weird. Okay, so other stuff is core GL kit. So I've merged in a lot of stuff in here. This is where all of the new NVIDIA stuff is. We have a new Mesa and we have libgl VND. One thing to keep in mind is that as of the time of this video, I haven't generated the 1.4 kits yet. I'm just sort of getting stuff ready in kit-fixups. Sometime soon, I'm going to start generating them, and then we can do installs of them and test them out. Another thing to note is, let me pull up PyCharm, which I have over here. Open merge scripts. No, open kit-fixups in here. So when I start a new release, I add stuff to modules, fixups, foundations, and I basically added all these new kit definitions. As part of that process, I did make some changes. So I moved Rust kit and XFCE kit, as well as Perl kit and Python kit to be independently maintained. And that was just a requirement because I can't generate them for 1.3 automatically and 1.4, and we didn't bump the version, so I had to make them independently maintained. So if you look on code.funtoo.org, you'll see that they're now independently maintained kits. That means we can commit to them directly. We don't commit stuff to kit-fixups for them. And so yeah, I added this. So these are all the definitions of the kits for 1.4 release. And you'll notice that all of these are mapped to Funtoo current here. Whereas 1.3 release is mapped to, everything is mapped to pretty much Funtoo release 1.3. So Funtoo release 1.3 references a branch of Funtoo that was snapshotted on the 13th of November 2018. And I know a lot of you are getting a little grumpy. It's getting a little older. So 1.4 release, at least for the time being, is going to be tracking Funtoo current. Now at some point we're going to freeze it, and it's going to track Funtoo release 1.4, which is going to be a frozen tree at whatever point in time we choose to freeze it. But as of right now, we haven't frozen it yet. And again, of course, I haven't even generated these kits yet. So one thing that you can sort of start doing if you want to help with this is I've been just going through kit-fixups, and I've gone to Core GL Kit and worked on that. I've gone to Media Kit and worked on that. But there's other kits maybe I haven't gotten to, let's say NetKit. And we need to look at what we have in 1.3 release. And since we're coming out with a 1.4 release, is any of this stuff that we want to carry over into 1.4 release? Or were these forks just temporary forks of packages to fix like a temporary issue with our sync with Gentoo, or maybe where we fell behind? Like, for example, over here on Adobe Flash, we have that forked. Do we need to carry that fork forward? If not, leave it in 1.3 release. But if you see anything here and you're like, we really should carry that fork forward to 1.4 release, then send me a pull request that just moves it into 1.4 release. And I don't even have a 1.4 release directory for NetKit. Actually, even better, move it into curated, because curated is really where we want to have our long-term forks. And then also take a look in curated, and if you see anything in curated kits that we forked that you're like, you know, that was sort of a temporary fix, we don't need that anymore, then maybe we want to unfork it. Like maybe Gentoo has pulled ahead in that area. Or maybe we have some e-builds in here that maybe Gentoo doesn't have, or we've done some pretty good improvements to, but they've fallen behind and they need updates. For that, just send me a pull request for those with updates, and that would be really helpful. So that's how you guys can help me out with 1.4 development and help that move forward. And my May is going to be busy. But I hope to get the container stuff documented. That is officially going to hit 1.4, the accelerated container, so like running Steam in a container. And I just felt like there were too many changes, especially with the sort of the GL stack, that we should really give that a new release rather than trying to shoehorn it into 1.3. So I think that's about it. Thanks for all the contributions. Please keep them up. It's been awesome. It's really helped. And I will talk to you later. Bye.